Things Musicians Don't Talk About is supported by the Royal Society of Musicians. Since 1738, they have been providing vital financial assistance, advice and guidance to music professionals unable to work due to accident, illness, stress or anxiety. Whether you're working as a performer, administrator, technician or teacher, and everything in between, they're there to help. If you know of someone in need, you can contact them in confidence by visiting their website, which is www.rsmgb.org, or you can contact them by ringing 020 7629 6137. Support their work by becoming a member or donating today.
Hello and welcome to Things Musicians Don't Talk About with your hosts Hattie Butterworth
And me, Rebecca Toll.
Within our vibrant musical world, it can often feel that the struggles and humanity of musicians is lost and restricted.
Having both suffered in silence with mental, physical and emotional issues, we are now looking for a way to voice musicians' stories, discuss them further and to connect with the many others who suffer like we have.
No topic will be out of bounds as we're committed to raising awareness for all varieties of struggle.
So join me, Hattie and guests as we attempt to bring an end to stigma by uncovering the things musicians don't talk about. Welcome to Things Musicians Don't Talk About. Today we are in my beautiful lounge and we are interviewing the wonderful, the glamorous, the internationally renowned...
Too much.
Okay, I'll take that one back. Aaron Akugbo.
Woo! And me wooing myself. Yeah, woo me. No, hi.
How are you today?
I'm good. Lovely. Awake. Alive. Thriving. All of it.
So good to see you.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you and Rebecca go way back.
Oh my god,
A bit
totes.
back.
Yeah.
Do you go, when did you meet?
Academy. And it would have been...
It was actually a quintet rehearsal where you were depping for Thomas. And we played through Ollie Davis's arrangement of that Strauss.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What Strauss?
Fledermaus?
Fledermaus. Oh my god, it was impossible.
It was
I
so
couldn't play it at all.
Fantastic.
No, none of us could play it.
No.
We were in a tiny, tiny room. Basically the perfect
meeting
encounter.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did your undergrad and
Yeah.
just undergrad?
Just undergrads.
And
yeah.
then did you leave and fly away?
No, since I finished in COVID, I kind of... Initially, my plan was, because I'd started doing some freelancey stuff, I was like, oh, I'll like see how that goes and not apply for a postgrad.
Love it.
If it's a disaster and I'm not making enough money, then I'll do a master's and just sort of like mill around until more comes in and then do it. But of course that plan was completely scuppered, and I didn't make any money anyway. But then from hearing from people, like obviously like COVID masters was a bit dead, so I was
a bit
like,
of a waste of your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing also, like financially I was like, I can't be bothered with like
Yeah.
all of that.
But then, was it your last year that your quintet took off, or was it like third? It feels like it's been going quintet, not quartet. What did I say?
Quintet, yeah.
Right. But because you guys won Royal Overseas League.
Yeah, quite recently.
Oh, that was more recently than...
I think so. This is the thing, I'm so bad
Don't
with
worry
dates.
about it, but it's been going
But-
a while.
Yeah. I mean, certainly there's been like, not that many shifts of players, but we basically spoke about it, a group of us, when we were on MYO. And we had like 4 of us all set up, we just didn't have a horn player. And I was like, oh, I've got a horn player friend at school, Robin.
Legend.
She should do it. And so basically, we just like set it up, and it's sort of gone since then. And it was in I think it must have been our second year, either first or second year. We like got this opportunity, like through academy, to go do essentially what was just like a practice residency in France. This guy, David Wilson Johnson, or Jumbo as he goes by to his close friends. I like everyone calls him Jumbo, but he
English.
yeah, English. He was like no, it's not Jumbo.
Jumbo. Or Jumbo.
No, it's
No Jumbo. No Jumbo. Only Jumbo.
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 He basically like gets young groups out and is like, I'll give you like 3 concerts, full length, 2 halves.
Oh, wow.
But you can't repeat any repertoire. Go. And so obviously us, like as a young group, it was like we have literally played like 4 or 5 pieces. And now we needed to find 15 or 20.
There aren't that many Evalds.
No, you joke, but like we've gone back like a few times, and there was literally a case where concert 1 we did Evald 1, concert 2 we did Evald 2, concert 3 we did Evald 3, and concert 4 we did Evald 4.
Who's
so it's like
Evald?
The
Evald.
brass quintet guy.
How do
Yeah.
you spell that name?
Ewald.
Evald.
Yeah,
So
Victor
who
Ewald.
was Evald? Did he write anything else?
Do we really want to talk
No,
about
no, no.
Eval?
Just, yeah, let's quit that one.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I could literally talk about it for ages from all the... Yeah, I mean, I have to introduce concerts. I have to talk about... And when I do outreach with Quintet, it's always like, oh, yeah, so there was this Russian geese, and his name was Victor Ewald. And they were like, oh, he's a geezer.
You're talking my language now, though. I want to know about
Yeah, exactly.
the geezer.
It's exciting. Anyway, no, it was in... Our basically from doing all that stuff in France, and we had to learn all this music, which of course at the time massively stressed us out. But then years down the line, Jumbo was like I did it on purpose to like push you and to rehearse lots
A
and
legend.
Of course.
to have all the repertoire, and yeah, so we did that, and then it would have been in our 3rd year that we then applied to do the Philip Jones competition. And then it was in the summer that like the live rounds happened, which was a roller coaster. I don't think the rest of the group would mind me saying that, but certainly we had like a rough time. It was very intense. Also, most of us at the time were already living together. Like 4 out of the 5 of us in the group all lived together as well as playing, and yeah, it was just a lot.
Because that's the thing that strikes me about you guys is always seems that you get on super well. Mm-hmm. And would you say that's kind of true, like overall?
Overall, yeah. I mean, I think socially, I mean, we all have, again, because of like, Robin and I, for example, have known each other since we were like 9 and 10 years old. And then most recent friend, Harry, it's like we both play the trumpet, we're the same age, we're the same year, we have gone through the same whatever journey. There's like different closenesses with each of us. But certainly like this year or last year, I forget. This is the thing, I'm so bad with dates when it comes to Quintet.
It's been an endless...
Just too many things. We're just doing too much.
Trajectory is just unplottable. It's just stratospheric now.
But it was the thing, we did City Music Foundation. I think that's coming to an end now. And part of that, what they offer to their artists is... I forget the official title, and again they'll get really annoyed at me. But essentially, like a counselor. Mm-hmm. I think that is what they refer to it, or like a mentor.
Nice.
But essentially, obviously, for us, the artist is a group of 5.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of turned into
Group
therapy.
Oh wow.
Which I think was like a bit weird because, as I say, most of us all living together. Harry was the only one that didn't live with us. Because of all that, then COVID happened and we all moved out of that flat, and we were like, none of us are going to live together anymore. That's probably for the best. Although saying that, like Chris and Alad now live together or whatever, but like that dynamic's fine. They're nailing that. But for all of us to be together, it was too much. And from that, like we had conversations about it, and I think it felt a bit awkward the first time we next rehearsed. We were like, oh, so like last time I saw you was like, I guess when we said we weren't going to live together ever again, cry. But then like actually speaking about it was like, yeah, because like that we realized like, oh, that was too intense and it was too much of this. But certainly with this City Music Foundation thing, we sort of went into it, especially me, who I sort of feel like I'm the person that knows everyone the best, like from a central, that's it. So I like connect everyone. I'm the glue of the ensemble. No, but in that regard, sort of, I've spoken to people and like what they have issues with, and then like I'll try and like not set up a conversation or whatever, but just sort of like felt like I'd got us through a lot of stuff, and that all of us together had gotten through a lot of it. That to then suddenly have this like woman be like, I mean, she was fabulous, love her to bits.
In a professional way.
Yeah, of course. I mean, she was. she was excellent. I mean, she was really great. But I did go into it like, we've sorted out issues and we now talk about things and we are like super open about whatever. And in reality, before every single, they were mostly just Zoom calls. I don't think we had a single in-person meeting. But we knew what we were going to talk about or what needed to be spoken about. I can maybe count one or two times that someone like threw in a rogue something that we hadn't spoken about, and then we were all sort of caught a bit off guard, which I guess is kind of what the point of it was.
Quite intense. Sounds like a lot.
Chamber ensembles in themselves can be quite intense. So actually,
also 5 people managing 5 different like personalities
and brass players as well.
My gosh.
Different.
But now you're kind of taking over the world as solo Aaron as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. World domination.
How do you manage being solo Aaron as well as quintet? I guess, do you prioritise going forward solo stuff?
Yeah, how do you balance it all?
Yeah.
Well, certainly at the moment, with quintet, it's where it's like great in comparison to like any orchestral stuff that I do, that quintet is booked so far in advance, and similarly so is like solo stuff, that in reality it sort of like goes in my diary. Like we're doing a concert next week that quintet are doing a concert next week that we probably got booked for like over a year ago, and now it's just like finally come around. But then everything else just sort of like slots around. But no, I think in reality, like quintet and solo me is like a very similar type of musician and very similar approach in playing, like technically and musically, in comparison to like going to orchestra where it's a lot of like fitting in and this or whatever.
That's interesting. I not thought of it like that.
Does it feel like easier going into an orchestra, or is it just different?
Yeah, do you kind of feel like you can breathe out when you're in an orchestra? Like it's more relaxed?
No.
Okay.
Because I think the comfort, obviously, of like a group that I played with since I was 17, in comparison to going into the profession and orchestral scene and trying to fit in musically and a lot of the time, more importantly, socially, is not easy. And it's taken a while. COVID was good for me, actually, in terms of like getting some space from it and realizing who I am as a person, what's important to me, which isn't necessarily like going along with lad chat and brass, just general shenanigans, which is fun. Like, it's not to say that like I like. There's no way that I can like innocently put my hands up like, oh no, I've never gone to the pub. I've never had a beer with the boys. Never.
Sexual.
Absolutely no. I just go home and read my books and do yoga. No, like absolutely not. But
that's not the centre of what
no
you want to do.
I was
guess.
going to ask about the social side of being in orchestras and kind of, you know, working as a musician, because you are black and you are gay.
Wait, what? Plot twist.
Oh my god,
You're not supposed to tell people that.
Sorry, it's confidential information.
You would never know.
It's
No.
an audio podcast.
No.
Yeah.
Erin's
Yeah, true.
Instagram doesn't share anything.
Yeah.
At all.
It'd be true.
No, I wear a mask the whole time.
Yeah, like I can't imagine that it's been all plain sailing and easy, especially in the classical music industry. If you'd be comfortable talking about it, what have your experiences been like in terms of being in a kind of environment where that's not necessarily the norm?
For sure. I mean, I guess it's kind of like, I mean, I've never thought about it like this, but I guess it's kind of like 3 eras, as it were, of like what my experience has been. So like the first era was like when I was still in my undergrad, pre-COVID. The first bit of work that I did was the beginning of my 3rd year. I was playing 4th trumpet in something, can't remember, but it was I mean, that was like nice. And who else was on? Caitlin was playing as well, so I had like a close friend there, and it like felt nice. It was the first time for both of us going in. LSO, it was the first time the 2 of us had gone in there.
He said it.
Clang. And it was really nice. I had a really nice time, and everyone was very like welcoming and this or whatever. But in reality, again, because it was first time, I took everything like really seriously, and like I was very like inside myself. So in that regard, I didn't experience very much as like a first time going in. It was actually quite pleasant, and I was like, I'm excited to do more of this. And so then started the whole like trumpet world craziness of like, here's a vacancy in every single orchestra ever. And so it was like audition. And very fortunately, I was offered trials everywhere. And there was like a weird thing of like, it also happened at my time at Academy that basically lots of people would credit my successes to positive discrimination, and that the reason that I was doing well was that it made orchestras look good, or it made the Academy look good to have a black guy playing principal trumpet in whatever. Or like a specific example was like in Academy, it was in my 2nd year actually, it was the first time I got principal trumpet in Academy Symphony Orchestra, which is a massive deal.
It is a big deal.
It's
Wow,
a huge,
really big.
yeah. I mean, it was on the CV.
I still have. I
But like,
know, but I actually went to Academy and played first trumpet. So.
massive deal. But no, in the concert it was the main piece was Rachmaninoff Symphonic Dances. Love that piece. But the first piece in the program, or the second, I can't remember, was Rhapsody in Blue. And so I was getting comments from my peers, my friends, being like, of course you get the black guy to play the jazz. And I was like, I don't know whether you're like,
Is this a joke? Or?
is this a joke, or like are you saying that like,
What is
like, are you like being on my side, being like, oh, like that's so bad of them, like of course they would like try and do that.
That is so
or are
confusing.
But you didn't say that.
No, of course not. I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I was just sort of like, oh my god, I'm excited that I'm playing first trumpet in something.
But it's like, it has to be broken down by someone into being because of a reason other than
Yeah.
you're worthy to be there.
Then started this really weird like downfall, but also like massive acceleration in like my playing, that basically I went completely inward and was like, I'm going to practice on my own, no one's going to hear me play apart from like when I need to perform or whatever, but I'm going to work my ass off. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Oh my god. Yeah, please
No, that's fine.
not swear.
Okay, like literally work my ass off, trying to be better, to prove them all wrong for the next time the auditions come round. And so then they did, again for like academy projects, and I got more stuff. I'm like, yes, I've like fucking proved them wrong. Obviously, did the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Because then it was like, oh, they're just doing more, and then there was like specifically there was this fanfare by Burt Whistle. I think it was a brand new piece to open up the new theatre, the new opera theatre at the Academy. And it was all very dramatic. In reality, very camp. That basically there were two trumpets like in the
Brilliant.
audience either side at the top, and on stage there was a line of 4 trombones, and then up at the front of the stage was me on my own, and the curtains would draw and I would play like honestly it was so dramatic. And thinking back, I live like it was amazing, but it would just start with me basically just playing on my own for about 30 seconds.
Wow.
Then the rest would join in, and like Princess Whatever came and and
Was Burt Whistle alive?
yeah, he came to the rehearsal.
Oh.
He like, I mean, it was just really weird. He sort of like grilled me like on this first page for like a what like, it was one of those that was really intense. I've never really had that before.
Whoa.
So like as an opportunity, it was like this amazing thing. But of course, the idea of this dramatic, they draw the curtain and there's this like black boy playing the trumpet, and like it looks really good. And they had like several performances of it for like the opening nights, whatever. That yeah. Again, people were like, oh, well,
This is why.
obviously you know why. I'm just there like, is it not because I like actually just practice a lot?
Yeah.
But like, so yeah, I never got credit for any of that. And so professionally, that kept going. And then I guess sort of next era of my
Hashtag journey.
yeah, hashtag journey, hashtag Black Journey, was Black Lives Matter.
2020. Oh no.
Yeah,
2020.
yeah, which in reality was a massive awakening for me. As a kid, I was convinced that I was the same as everyone else. Growing up in Edinburgh, I'm the same as all the other white kids. There's nothing different about me. Sure, I'm a bit brown, but like I essentially was brought up white, like absolutely. And my dad would try to talk to me about racism, and I'm like, Dad, like stop, like that's not gonna happen to me. I'm not gonna get spat on at the bus stop. I'm not gonna get beaten up at that doesn't happen. That's not part of my life, and it never will be.
So stop trying to make it into
Idiot.
Yeah.
Over here. That yeah, sure, I've not like been beaten up or like whatever, but all the other crap that has happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that was massively like awakening for me. And then started the whole white friend starts messaging, hey, how can I do better? Hey, what can I do about this? Hey, oh, I'm sorry if I like did this to you, and like, oh, can I just check that like it was fine for me to say that? Oh my god, and like it was exhausting. And the thing, what was kind of strange then was that people in the profession started doing it. And there'd be musicians that I'd never actually met before, but like we know of each other.
Yeah.
Who would be messaging me asking for advice, and it's like this is like the weirdest like switch in like power dynamic ever. That normally I'm the one that has to, like, as a trialist or as a freelancer, whatever, you know, you suck up to these people, and you go along and you be sociable and you do all the nice things to obviously like make people comfortable and have a nice time, but in the hope that they like you and then they book you again and then continues the cycle. But for them to be like, teach me how to be better, and if they say something that's super ignorant and they're like, is that bad for me to say, that I need to be like, yes, you sound like an idiot.
Suddenly put all that on you to like be the authority of...
as I'm like 21-year-old. Like, what do I
What the hell?
actually
Yeah.
know?
And you're already in a position of like, I'm on trial. Like, it's a vulnerable position to be in. Like, it's a tricky
Right.
balance to then have people be like, oh no, but you tell us what to do.
Yeah, no, it was just really strange. I didn't really know like how to deal with it until like eventually I got to a point where initially I didn't know, and then secondly I was like, oh fuck it, I'll just like say whatever and like deal with the repercussions later. And then it got to a point where I was like, actually, like this isn't my job.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a teacher. Like the classic phrase, like just Google it.
Yeah.
Like in reality, you get far more information than it coming from me. Yeah, sure, maybe it feels a bit more personal and like I don't know, you're able to understand empathetically a bit, but it was like a very weird time. And then sort of after that, third era, I guess that we're still in now, was I was just like, I'm gonna be unapologetically myself as much as possible. That it isn't like a complete hindrance. Like I think that's also annoying that the unfortunately has like for me certainly I feel like with myself there has to be a point of like tone some things down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that's the same in like for everyone in different social situations. Like you're not going to talk in a certain way with one group than you would with another.
Do you think that's heightened in your job as a classical musician? Or do you think that would be the same whatever industry you worked in?
I feel like it's more difficult to be your authentic self in the classical music world. As I say, like as a brass player as well, there's sort of the tradition of it, you know, it's very laddie and it's drink loads of pints and talk about girls and and I'm just there like, sure, not really sure what I can contribute to this conversation. Just like keep drinking my gin and tonic in the corner.
What do you want to know about girls?
It's like, honey, I can tell you. They be telling me, honey, I'll give you that tea, okay?
So stop trying so hard.
But it's the thing, and then what's actually really weird is I've had these nights where in reality I do just like get too drunk and then the filter switches off.
Yeah.
And like it happened. I mean, I won't go into specifics, but it like happened one night when I'd been in with this orchestra, and like I got out for drinks like considerably longer than I'd planned to, but I was like trying to show face and like do the the freelance bit, and came to a point where I was like asked, like got tapped on the shoulder, being like, oh mate, what do you want to drink? I was like, oh, just a gin tonic, babe. And I was like, oh my god, I just called the principal trumpet babe. Like
I live.
and then I was scared to turn around. I was like,
Bye.
and he was like, where's that been all week? I was like, what do you mean? He was like where's that chat been? That was clearly how you talk and how you are. So like where's that been all week? I was like, oh, I don't know, I guess just like I'd only call my like close friends that like and then like had a freak out. But then like went home and like thought to myself, I was like, if that is like genuinely like how I speak with people, then certainly to at least try and just be, well, not even have to try, just like be myself. But then sure, if they get like offended or I get like a weird response back, then like sure, I'll stop calling you babe. I'll call you mate. But it is literally, but it is like a really weird, like it was a shock for me that like this straight guy in the profession was like, you can act all campy and whatever around me, like I'm not.
So it's more of like oh, where's that been? And like, oh, you can be yourself rather than like, where the hell's this come from?
Yeah, no. Yeah, not that at all.
Yeah.
It was like an encouragement of, you should be more like this if it is who you are, rather than, because in reality I don't know anything about sports. I know nothing about women, and I don't know very much about coffee or beer, which is what especially these trumpet boys. Trumpet boys love coffee.
Love it.
Love coffee.
This is a social study. I don't know anything about trumpet boys.
Girl, don't. It's too much. It's too
I don't think I
much.
want to know, but it's
The closest you'll get is Stu, and he's not quite.
Oh, he's tuba boy. He's not trumpet boy.
Sorry.
The voice shapes on the audio.
The baby boys. I love that.
He's my tuba boy.
Tuba boy.
Tuba boy.
But no, it's a thing that because I don't know what to talk about, I just don't say anything.
Right.
So I'll just sit. Like you can already see I'm not a quiet person, like at all. But like suddenly, weirdly, as soon as I get into these like situations, I'm then like, I don't know what to talk about, so I'm just gonna like sit silently.
And it's hard to portray like who you are if you're just like occasionally being like, yeah, or like I don't know, adding in these like small comments where you don't feel like
many straight are there
straight
not
trumpet players.
are there not many gay
Hattie.
male trumpet players then? Is it not?
I mean, I've never worked with a gay trumpeter. I know that obviously I have friends that are,
Yeah.
but I've never worked with them
Oh my god.
ever.
I don't think I've
That's
ever
just really wild to me.
worked with a me neither, apart from you.
Because half the string player men
Oh yeah.
are, gay.
And we can talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go show with them. No, I'm joking, but
Yeah.
that is so interesting though.
But I suppose it's easy for someone to be like, you should show more of yourself
yeah.
from somebody who fits in with that kind of like them.
Yeah.
Them being themselves is kind of what's expected.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine it's like, yes, but from your kind of viewpoint of it, and it is kind of from my perspective of like sometimes feeling like I have to hide or like filter certain bits of myself when I'm working. It's like it's kind of tiring to filter yourself, but also to put like curated bits of yourself out there to be like, okay, I can show myself this much, or I can talk about like the podcast, but then as soon as like mental illness comes up, I have to like be really careful. It's just like it's quite a lot of responsibility in an already kind of precarious profession that's kind of scary and networky and then laddie and gossipy, and it's a lot.
Yeah. So from that point then, how would you kind of explain the unapologeticness now being in your like professional life? Because obviously it's not exactly doing you a disservice. Aaron is playing at the proms. So exciting.
Yeah, well, I guess the reason that I got that is because I'm black.
Yeah, that does make sense, yeah.
I mean, it kind of is though, because I guess it is with Chineke. Like, there's like.
Because as I mean, like obviously being authentic isn't like putting you backwards. And is that how you would see it too? Like.
Well, I think like thinking about it is what's really strange that I have like essentially not been myself for years, like in these circumstances, and then like. I then just had to assume that it's, well, then just the playing that they're going off of, that they keep rebooking me, that then now to be more myself, I guess also comes with the thing of like, well, I now like know these people, because I've like worked with this orchestra for 5 years now, or this one for 4, or like, maybe it's my first time going in somewhere, but actually loads of my friends already play there, so it's kind of like, which I guess also with time is, again, just like getting to know people, that it then is a lot easier. Whereas, of course, like 19-year-old me, like going into an orchestra for the first time, it was like, I don't know what's going on. I know that my teacher said something about teas and coffees, but I can't remember. I don't know what else to do. It's like, do I get the tea? Oh no, someone else got the tea. Oh god, they're not going to book me again. It's like the mind games.
What is this tea politics? I keep hearing.
You don't know tea, coffee?
Well, only from the.
Because you're a journalist
sidelines.
now. Everyone gets their own coffee.
Oh well, I expense my coffee.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's a sign of like.
Tea.
Submission.
Coffee.
So if you're, I see. So if you're on trial or like.
You get the teas in
to like win them over,
essentially.
Yeah, well, to be like to be a good lad.
Oh,
and then at the end of the day, you get the beers in.
Oh, This is an expensive hobby.
Any liquids?
Yes, because that's also the thing. Like, you go into orchestra for the first time. Me at that age, I had no money. I was like,
no money.
I was like, I literally cannot afford to buy 3 teas or coffees for everyone.
It's a lot.
I had that in Manchester once where I tried to get the teas in, but my card was declined.
Yes,
I was like,
I mean, it's mortifying.
I'm going to never work again.
Yeah,
like, come
not the
on.
one.
Someone else can pay for it. It's fine.
So, are you working in an orchestra, or are you kind of just sort of depping, or do you have a job?
It's just freelance. Yeah, I don't have a job.
Okay.
It's been a lot of rejections. A lot of rejections recently.
It's a lot.
Which, yes, it sounds super privileged. Was like in reality something that I'd not had to deal with before. That sounds so pretentious. But to be brutally honest, it was like a bit. Because as I say, especially like at a young age as well, like doing all these trumpet auditions, I was like, oh my god, like I'm nailing this. Like I'm definitely gonna get one of these.
Yeah.
To then, not realize all the other stuff that actually comes with, being on trial and like getting on with people and all the, I mean, obviously all the social bullshit that we've just been speaking about, but also the actual important social stuff of like actually just getting on with someone, because you need to, like, they're going to hire someone that they want to work with for potentially the rest of their lives. That if I'm there just being like super quiet and the person I'm sat next to doesn't want someone super quiet, then obviously they're not gonna, So there was a lot of things that, like, hindsight obviously is great, that I would have perhaps tried to do more, not in the sense of like, I should have done better, but actually to push myself out of my comfort zone a little bit more might have had like a different impact on what my future would look like. But actually, with the whole solo and quintet thing, having an orchestral job in reality isn't the most ideal. Especially, certainly there were a few that I was trialing for that were like 50%.
Oh yeah.
Or some of them even like 75 was like kind of okay, but 100% job like wouldn't necessarily work.
Yeah.
If I wanted to keep the rest of it going. But it's where, I guess with quintet and the solo thing is, as I say, it's sort of like fortunate that it's booked so far in advance that orchestrally I just sort of like try and slot things in.
Do you, I don't know if this is just me reading into things, but how do you feel about being like a solo trumpet player? Is that a terrifying thought for you? Would you ever want that to be everything? Or do you think that would ruin the joy of it?
Well, I think actually most recently all the stuff that I have done as a soloist, I've had the moment on stage of like, this is why I do this. This is why I play the trumpet.
Yeah.
This is why I'm so glad that I picked up the trumpet as a kid, which I think just sort of like, unfortunately, from the way that my professors were at music college, that they put so much pressure on like what you need to do when you go into an orchestra, that my mind was fully fixated on that. There were very few moments, really, like maybe on one hand that I can count, that I've sat in an orchestra and been like, I love this. This is why I do this. And in reality, it's most of those are probably concerts that were like very little pressure.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like loads of people came to it and they were like, oh my god, it was the best fucking concert I've seen in ages. That I did Mahler 2 at the Proms with LSO last year, which on reflection, while like take myself out of the experience and look at it, was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And it was great. But I was sat there freaking out about XYZ. And I was like, oh my god, people are listening, and like Mahler 2, there's like this second trumpet bit, and like everyone's gonna be like listening to that, and like it was just sort of like a lot that I couldn't enjoy the experience. Whereas, I mean, it literally happened, I think a month ago, that I was doing a recital with my pianist Zainab, who we love.
Oh yeah.
We love. and we rehearsed the night before the concert, because most of it was stuff that loads of it we'd done before, but there was this one new arrangement by a friend of ours, Will Foster, of this Bach oboe concerto, which I was to play on piccolo trumpet. I've been practicing it, and it had to be this like, I had to practice it in this like super methodical way, because with like long pieces on piccolo, like my tension like goes like absolutely crazy. So I was trying to like, everything loose, relax, lovely, music.
Lovely music.
Absolutely.
Quote that.
Absolutely. And we came to sit down and rehearse it, and it was horrible. It just wasn't working, and it was no fault of Will's, but it just like, what I didn't realize, Will then told me later, he was like, oboists don't play this with piano, because like it just doesn't work as a reduction.
Okay.
Like if someone's playing this piece, it needs to be properly performed.
Oh, right.
Because to have it reduced, it just sounds
A lot.
bad.
Yeah.
And then plus the whole piccolo thing, that like audibly like I'm struggling, and like it is not the relaxed, easy, beautiful Bach that people want to hear. That Zainab and I had 15 minutes left of rehearsal, and she goes, Aaron, there's a version on IMSOP that's down a fourth that you could play on big trumpet, and we could maybe just do that instead. And I was like, sure, let's try it. And so we did like topped and tailed like each of the movements. The whole piece is 20 minutes long. So to have 15 minutes of rehearsal, it was like, okay. And then I'm getting confused because like all the fingers are wrong, and like it's also just in the wrong key from what I'd learned to and actually, I'm saying that it wasn't the night before the recital. It was the night before we did that gay Baroque concert. So I agreed to do this concert with Becca, which in reality, we had the greatest time. It was very fun. It was lovely. But I had said to myself that I didn't want to do anything the day before this recital because I wanted to practice. And now suddenly I had this whole concerto to relearn for a concert that I was doing the next day, and no time to practice it. And sorry, this is the most long-winded point.
No, I'm living.
The point was, we then did the concert, and we did the rest of it was to end the first half. And so of course everything like before that is kind of like, oh my god, we need to play the Bach, oh my god. And like both of us in the same boat, like freaking out, because obviously she has a million notes to play.
Now done.
Yeah. And we did it, and we both had a great time.
Oh.
I had a fabulous time. I was kind of like, it was that weird, like, I don't know how I got the levels right of like nervous adrenaline and just sort of like music love. And yeah, it was just like great. I had a really nice time. And we came off stage for the interval, and we were like, oh my god, like what?
You and me?
That was great. I had a really nice time. That was lovely.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Manager thought something else, but so I don't think I'm playing it again.
But the experience will live with you forever.
But the experience was great. Like it was, and again, it was sort of like this weird thing that there was actually an example of like, I have 20 minutes of music with so many notes that I know how they should sound, but physically don't know what they are. But that was way more enjoyable than doing all the orchestral stuff that I've done before.
It's funny, we talked about this recently of like performance anxiety or not enjoying performance, and being like, actually I didn't enjoy that performance. I enjoyed the like validation I got from it, or like the relief afterwards, or like looking back on stuff and it's like, oh my god, I've been like directing my life towards something that I don't actually enjoy, or like I thought I enjoyed so much more than I actually do.
There was a massive period of time that the relief of a concert being over was the joy.
Reason.
Yeah.
And I think it was a weird thing, because lots of the jobs that I was applying for were for principal position, and when I was at academy, I felt like I got more out of playing like second or third. But then people would come to me and be like, no, you're like a first player, man. Like, you do all your solo stuff and like quintet. Like,
But then
that's the kind of player that like you are. But actually, I get what they're saying is exactly what it is. Like, yes, I am that player, and I do that type of playing in solo and in quintet. But when I'm in orchestra, that's not what I want to do. I don't like the pressure of being in charge of certainly the trumpets, if not like the trombones as well.
Yeah.
So then like the whole like anticipating to the conductor and the rest of the orchestra, but like like there's too many things that seemingly don't come very natural, and I can't for whatever reason just sit down in orchestra and feel like I'm owning it, which I feel like you need is like a principal trumpet. It's so like mental, the strength and resilience that you need to that you genuinely need to have in order to do that job. I just don't think I have it. Meanwhile, we'll see how the proms goes, but like I feel like there might be a part of me that comes off stage after doing that and says like that actually feels so much easier than if I was to sit actually on stage and do something.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's like massive though, because I feel like there is a pressure. If you're a great trumpet player, you kind of expected to just do the top version of everything, you know, play number one trumpet, be number one, blah, 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 blah. But like, that's so amazing that you've kind of like found, or like you've been attentive to what you actually enjoy and what you're good at.
And especially like in the face of having people react badly or kind of in a complex way to you receiving those opportunities during your time at music college. I mean, it almost makes sense that you'd prefer not to do the first position.
Oh yeah, Rebecca.
Deep.
I don't want to be on the front cover of this prospectus, thank you.
What about, I guess, like coming away from having people react in that way to your success? How do you kind of see your success now? Do you still have a kind of voice that's like, oh, it's only because you're black, or does that still pop up, or you kind of like completely let go of that now?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, there's like blatantly obvious things of like, if it's like, as you say, like putting me on the front of a prospectus or if they're doing like photos for like social media, or if they're like, oh yeah, can you come over and like do a little interview thing, which I mean I'd never really do, but like if I ever have, it's like
this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, whenever I'm asked to do podcasts, I always seem to be asked about my race. No, no, I don't know. I think nowadays, not really, because I think I've also like kind of owned it.
Yeah.
Like what I was saying before with the before we started about the whole Lucerne festival last year, with the theme of diversity, and that in reality I know that I was being asked out of a place of love from Ursula Jones, and she was like, it'd be fabulous for you to do a solo recital with piano. And I was like, I would absolutely love that, thank you. And she was like, yes, and also like with the theme of diversity. And part of me, I mean, again, it's where it's difficult, because obviously I'm a bit biased towards her because I love her and I know that she means that out of a nice place. That I was like, yeah, for a second I was a bit like, oh god, okay, great, that's the only reason that I'm doing this. But then I was like, no, actually I'm gonna like own that, and yes, it's gonna be about diversity, and I'm gonna play diverse music and music that tells a story of diversity, whether it's like pieces of like my like trumpet journey as a black trumpeter, or whether, you know, it's from composers of color. You know, there is that kind of thing. There's always a way of flipping it. I think during 2020 and the whole George Floyd thing, there was a lot of and understandably I did the same thing, there was a lot of time for aggression and fighting back and but not necessarily like initially owning, and or when it then the aftermath of it, of then having to own our experiences and yeah, I guess sort of like take charge again and not feel like, yeah, tokens of whatever. I guess.
It was a lot of responsibility to suddenly know how to deal with everybody and everything. And yeah, I don't know how you got through that time and like didn't just explode. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, it was already really weird, I guess. Like, I think if it happened in London, for me, if I was in London and it wasn't locked down, I think it would have been too much. Especially because lots of friends of mine are, you know, very active and very vocal about racism and blackness, and I just was not at all. Even like the first time I went into Chineke Orchestra, again, it was like the first thing I moved down to London just before I was 18. And literally the first thing I did when I came down was I did 4 days of Chineke Orchestra. And I'd never been in a room with so many people of colour in my life, apart from like maybe like parties that my dad used to go to when we were younger. But even then, that was always like a really weird thing because I didn't know anyone, and it all felt a bit like overwhelming. And so I guess it kind of felt like the same thing. Like I walked in, I was like, this actually doesn't feel right. In a very like internalized racism kind of way. It was like this like
Just doesn't happen.
no, and yeah, like obviously like sat down and started making music, and I was like, oh my god, this is actually like amazing and this is great. And now it feels like very like basically everyone's just like a massive family there. But it's still like, you know, still talk to people a lot, and I think it was just like such a strange time already, like during COVID, that for that to then happen. In reality, I didn't do very much. I know that like I was like asked to like speak on radio, like BBC Scotland, lol, where I basically said like I did maybe like did a little spiel for like a minute, but like they had some like actual like black Scottish like activist author guy who I can't remember his name now, and that's really bad. But it was 3 years ago, so so yeah, he basically like led the conversation. But actually, what was kind of better was like I was briefed beforehand by this like young Scottish guy, white guy, on the phone, and he basically sort of like asked me loads of questions about my experience and which I hadn't really spoken to people about really.
It's quite hard to then just do it on the radio.
Yeah, no, exactly. Which is why I'm so thankful that like I spoke to him before. But I just like told him loads of stuff, and he was like, "Oh my god, this is absolutely shocking." And I was like, "Oh yeah, it is actually. It's not great." I mean, when I was younger, I always felt like more connected to like my friends of color in school, but again, because it's so small, like I'm not like branching out. Not that I, as I say, necessarily could in Edinburgh. And so the first time I came down to London, I remember like coming off the train at King's Cross, and I was like, "Where are we? Like, we're not in the UK. This isn't the UK. There are too many. Like, where are the white people?
Yeah.
Where are they?"
Yeah.
It was so strange, like so weird.
Yeah.
Nice weird or
Just weird, I guess.
just weird?
I don't know. I couldn't like, not like bad. It's not like I suddenly was like, you know, clutching my pocket so that no one like.
Ooh.
No, it wasn't like super dramatic. It was just sort of like felt a bit like, whoa.
You'd not seen that before.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So I think we're coming to the end of the interview.
Righto.
Oh.
Do you have any last questions?
I feel like I've asked quite a lot of questions.
You've asked some very good questions, I think.
Do you have any last questions?
Well, mine was, apart from win of the week, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah, like life as a musician can be kind of testing at times. Like, how do you look after yourself? Or have you not looked after yourself?
It's always like very like weather dependent.
Yeah.
My like exercise life, running's massive for me. Not that I'm not a massive runner, to clarify. But
It's massive in your life, but
Yeah.
you're not.
yeah,
You're not the runner.
yeah,
You're not at the marathon today, for example.
absolutely not.
No.
No,
Absolutely
you
not.
already finished. That's why it's here.
Yeah.
You won.
Yeah. Even time for a shower, like lovely.
Beautiful.
No, running, and it's a weird thing actually. It was a friend of mine, Tom, Freeman Atwood. He, we were talking about exercise and like mental health, and I was saying that it was like running's really great for me because like it's the time that I like get out of the house and I just like think about all the shit that is like going through my head, and I think by like moving, what would normally, if I just like sat in my room and started thinking, I'd be like, oh my god, like freaking out and get really like anxiety and whatever, that I don't know, but seemingly by like moving, well, I guess my heart's already going. But like,
It's more control.
yeah.
Intentional.
More productive
Yeah.
kind of thing.
but it like, I don't know, it weirdly like I just like process
Yeah.
it, and then when more often than not, because in reality there's not really that much for me to worry about on a day to day, that if I like go for a run for like 20 to 30 minutes, more often than not I'll have like completed everything in like the first half of the run. And so then the rest actually then feels like a very like free, liberating thing. But if that doesn't work, at the moment I go a lot to Parliament Hill, Lido.
Very
Oh,
nice.
So I like do the run because I refuse to get into that water like just from
Yeah.
the train.
Yeah.
Like absolutely not.
Need to warm up. Get
I need to be sweating before I get in that freezing cold water.
Yes.
Absolutely not. There's no way that you can catch me just jumping in there.
No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So yeah, and then again that also like I don't know, just like being in water and like it's very blue and it's like obviously water's sorry, that sounded really stupid.
It's not that bad.
As in
blue.
the bottom of the pool is reflective, so it reflects the sky, and so the water looks incredibly blue, and it's very nice. It feels like you're swimming in like one of those nice beach sea things. The
Wait a
ones that are really
second.
blue.
Beach.
This is
sea thing.
different from
You know?
that Hampstead bathing ponds.
Yeah, not those, girl. No.
Okay.
It's close though,
Yes, it's
Yeah.
just around the corner.
geographically.
But
Yeah.
it's blue, whereas those are not blue.
Brown.
No, those. Yeah, that's mud.
That's what I thought. That's why I was quite surprised when you said it was blue.
No. It's like a pool, like
Oh,
an actual. Like,
gorgeous.
it's a 60-meter.
It's
like it's gorge. It's really nice. But yeah, again, like just like doing that, and yeah, it's like very helpful. In reality, my flatmate Thea, like the two of us are like each other's rock. a bit.
Aw,
It's
yeah.
very cute. And yeah, we've had like again, it's also great that we basically had the same journey, both musicians of color, both of half white, half Nigerian.
Is she? Is she?
Yeah.
Is she a double bass player?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Got the right person.
Yeah, the two of us are fab, and so like a lot of the time, well, I mean, like we speak to each other about anything and everything. So in terms of like processing stuff, also she's great for me. She's essentially like my mother. Like she will, if I'm being stupid, which I do a lot, then she will tell me off, and then I need to like, go and sort my shit out, and then she's like, good.
Well done.
Well done. Love you.
I love that.
So yeah, in that regard, like there's that, but I don't know, just like little things. I mean, I've not done it in ages, but I need to like skincare and stuff, like the therapeutic set, like the last like 20 minutes of the day, and just sort of like gently like
Love.
massage your face. And
Yeah.
So that I've not done that in a while.
You can inspire you to get back.
Absolutely, I'll do it
I want to
tonight.
get one of those like
No, I will
gun
do.
type.
Gun.
Massage.
Yeah.
Massage gun. Girl, I just bought one.
No.
I just bought one. Not for the face.
Oh, for the what?
What? For the face.
With the little bristles on the end, and it like.
Wait, what? That's
Oh.
the same thing. Do you,
I know what you're talking about.
What is that?
one of those rollers? No,
It does this.
Isn't it just like an exfoliator thing?
Maybe
Little bristles.
little bristles.
that's
Yeah.
not a. Yeah, massage gun doesn't.
I need that though.
But you got a massage gun?
I did buy a massage gun quite recently.
Wow.
I don't use it very much. It's the thing, like, it's where it's like really annoying because then like to use it on yourself. If I'm trying to like do my shoulders, which is like my massive problem.
Yeah.
Then there's loads of tension in this shoulder because I'm having to hold it up because it's actually quite heavy.
You need to get Thea on the case.
Well, yeah, exactly. But she'd been away most of this week.
That's just not on.
But it's very weird. I'm very like up and down. I think alcohol's a massive play on that. I just
presumably traveling, like it's hard to have a kind of regular schedule of doing these things when your life's not predictable in that way.
Well, I think I was thinking about it the other day that also, of course, the way that like stuff like drinking and drugs and whatever like affects people differently. That there are friends of mine that I don't understand like how they still function.
How are you
like
still going?
I mean, I just did like a 3 week bender that was like working with ENO, which was great. And in reality, I was very sensible for once, like sober during performance.
Wow.
Every single one for 3 weeks.
Isn't it a non-drinking orchestra anyway?
Yes, it is.
100%.
And that is why you were sober the entire time.
Yes.
Because you were abiding by the rules.
Yes. No, but I was actually sober.
Did you play for Totestadt? The Dead
Yes.
City?
Yes.
I was going to say Totoro. No.
I thought you were going to say... I got asked to play for Toto and my manager said no.
Well, that
She
wasn't...
was like, the money's not good enough. Which, I mean...
But you get to play in a tree.
What?
They're on the stage.
Well, I didn't know that.
They're like in a tree on the stage.
Oh, that's rubbish. I wish I knew... Well, no, that's great. Sorry, it's rubbish that I didn't do it. Also, not that. I hate that thing. Oh, yeah, I was asked to do that.
But I said no because the money wasn't good enough.
No, I was told. I was like, no, Aaron, you're not allowed to do it.
I'd love someone to do that for me. No, that gig is too shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a no.
You don't do any gigs.
Well, exactly.
Well...
I was asked to do one the other day.
And you said no.
I said no because I
The money was too
physically
bad.
didn't even know if I could play the cello anymore.
After being like, I reckon I could do a recital on 3 hours prep.
Excellent.
Righto, well, I think we're coming to the end now.
Yeah.
We normally do this, like, win of the week thing where we just sort of share, like, a small thing from our week. Just because we kind of want... Some people think our podcast is a little bit dark, so for those people...
Yeah. Ooh, that laugh, sorry.
I'm going to put that in the intro.
Ew, oh, God.
So we normally, just have, like, a little kind of positive end. I'll go first.
Good, thank you.
My win of the week was...
Oh, you don't have one?
Yeah, you should go first.
I don't have one either.
Oh,
Even
no.
though we know we do this every...
Go on.
Well, I...
Yes!
Win of the week.
Yeah, little win.
They'll win.
I cooked myself 2 excellent ramen dishes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parts to that.
For no, not like as in it's like noodles,
Oh, sorry.
but then like extra stuff on top of that.
Like instant noodles with stuff.
Okay, now it doesn't sound like a win.
Perfect. It's very good.
It's a
We are
little-
destroying Aaron's win.
The point being,
I was thinking like Wagamama's like...
no, not quite. I mean, it's like it was a like chili peanut butter ramen.
No.
Like with the noodles, and then like chicken thigh fried in like garlic, ginger, soy, honey, chili, sesame oil,
Okay, this counts as a win.
and then like tender stem broccoli
Ooh.
fried in the same stuff. It was really good. The point being that I never cook for myself ever. So the fact that I did it for dinner one night, and then I did a different one for lunch the next day. I was like, this is excellent. Because it's easy. It's easy and it's very
Beautiful.
rewarding.
The hardest bit is getting to the kitchen and also having all the ingredients there.
Yeah, I had to go to the shop, which was a bit ass.
I
But
hate that bit.
yeah,
You can understand why they do deliveries.
that's what I live off delivery. It's horrific. It's fine, I'm getting Domino's tonight.
Diversify.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So my win of the week was when people ask me how things are going, I am honest with them this week anyway.
This week.
Like,
Is there an
think-
example?
I think a lot of people want a specific answer when they're like, how's it going? It's so exciting, your life, or whatever. Because my life is thrilling. They want you to be like, oh, it's going brilliantly. But I'm like, no, do you know what? I am overworked and underpaid right now. And there are parts of my job that are great, but actually it might not be great for much longer unless I sort it out. And I kind of like, I feel like saying that honestly holds myself accountable, because now next week, like, I know I'm going to do something about it. That makes sense. But I always feel like I have to be the one to have the big conversations with people. I hate having big conversations with people.
No, you don't. You love it.
Yeah, I do kind of love it.
If anyone was like, oh, I hate to
I hate to rock the boat.
I hate to be the centre of the
Me.
mental health.
Okay, Rebecca.
I can't think of any
Well, you better
that you're
think.
going to be happy with.
What about... Oh, there is one, but you probably shouldn't share it.
No, I'm not going to share that one.
Okay.
On the main feed.
I'm intrigued.
What has Rebecca done this week? What about...
Who is Rebecca?
Have you rung anybody? Have you answered the phone?
Actually, yeah, I called a lot of people. I hate the phone.
Yeah.
On the phone, and I called
Same.
the bank. I called Scottish Power. Called TfL. All these people. Just to be
Why?
like... Because I just forget my password. Like, hey, how are you?
Hey.
ATFL.
Yeah, I forgot all my login details for everything.
Uh,
And locked all my accounts, and
That's big adulting there, to be fair.
yeah, because I was filling out my accountant spreadsheet, needed to find out how much interest I got last year. 31p. They really needed to know that.
bravo.
Yeah, thank
Love
you.
that.
Encore. So thanks, Aaron, for coming all this way and
Pleasure.
facing the crowds and our internal.
Yeah, I hope you find
Stresses.
out what the crowd was. A
Oh,
bronze
I thought
group.
you were making a joke that we were like in front of a live studio audience or something. Hope it was okay in front of all the crowd. I was like, oh my god, what?
Yeah, this is a
Oh, the crowd's on my way here.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll find out what it is.
I'm
That's good.
fascinated.
Yeah.
Tag a little info bit on the end of the podcast,
Yeah,
being
sure.
like, just to let you
I
guys.
just hope it isn't something horrific.
No, yeah, maybe not.
We'll find out.
Probably football or something.
So it is horrific.
Some kind of sport.
Yeah, but nothing unexpected.
The worst.
Expected horror. Yeah. Anyway,
Thank you so much.
on that note,
Thank
thanks.
you.
It's been so nice.
Okay, bye.